Hi Hive fans, Randy Ingersoll here with another video helping you. Actually, that's not the case. This video doesn't have a lot to do with Hive except for the fact that I did a live stream yesterday of the 2021 Hive Online World Championship semifinal match between Doobie and Gandak. Congratulations, Frank Chen, playing under the name Doobie, won that match. It was a great match between two great players, and Doobie will be advancing off into the finals to play against Quadlibet, three-time world champion Quadlibet, and then Gandak will be playing in the bronze medal match against Stepanzo. So be watching for future live streams as well as future videos regarding those matches. But during that match yesterday, Danny Palm, one of my viewers, dropped me a note that asked a question about that back there. Here's the note that he said in the comment, and let's talk about the ship's wheel. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the ship's wheel and answer three questions. First is it really a ship's wheel? Second, how did I come to get it? And third, where did it probably come from? So first, yes, it really is a ship's wheel. So if you look very carefully at the picture here, you can see that in the round hub, it's brass. It's got some green corrosion patina on it. And in the hole in the center of the round hub, that hole is splined. It's keyed for a spline key so that when it would fit over a shaft, the spline key would go in place, locking the wheel to the shaft. So yes, it really is a ship's wheel. Now the big question is, where did it come from? So we're going to look at this map here. From Google Maps, this is a satellite view of the area that I grew up in, although it's quite different now than when I grew up. I grew up in a little town of Kissimmee, here at the north end of this 13-mile-long lake called Lake Tohopekaliga. Of course, it was a little town back then. This whole area has grown up a lot over the last 40 years, 50 years actually. So when I was 10 years old, I started sailing in the Rotary Club Pram fleet. We sailed primarily up here in the north end of Lake Tohopekaliga. Sometimes we went down into the middle section down here. In fact, in 1965, when I was 12 years old, I was the Rotary Club Pram champion for that year. And I had a friend, Nydia Weldon, and she gave me a call one day at work, and she said, "Randy, I need you to come down to where I work." And I said, "Nydia, I'm really, really busy right now. I can't come." She said, "No, you've got to come." And I said, "I'm really busy." And she said, "Well, I wanted to make this a surprise, but you've got to come right now because the salon next to where I work is getting rid of that." And she knew I liked sailing things and nautical things, and she knew that I would like it. So I dropped what I was doing, went down, and sure enough, I got that ship's wheel, and I've been carrying it around for 20 plus years now. One of my favorite prized possessions. So that's where I got it. So now, where did it come from originally? We're going to have to do a little bit of history lesson here. First off, we're going to look at Hamilton Diston. Was a wealthy Philadelphia businessman from the 19th century. A businessman, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. He came to the state of Florida, and in 1881, he bought 4 million acres of swampland. And if you know Florida, it's still primarily swampland. He bought 4 million acres from the state of Florida for $1 million cash, bailed the state of Florida out of a very serious financial issue caused primarily by the American Civil War some 15 years earlier. And so he owned 4 million acres of land in Central Florida. And so what he did was, starting here at Lake Tohopekaliga in the little town of Kissimmee, he started a steamboat line. And we're going to look at some of the maps here. If you go down to the south end of Lake Tohopekaliga, you can see this straight canal that he cut between Lake Tohopekaliga, first to Lake Cypress, another canal over to Lake Hashtanaha, a third set of canals over to Lake Kissimmee, and then from Lake Kissimmee south, he worked on the Kissimmee River all the way down to Lake Okeechobee in South Florida. And all with history, which you're probably not, of the state of Florida. Back in the late 19th century, Lake Okeechobee here in the center of the state, you could not easily, in fact in many cases couldn't at all, get from Lake Okeechobee over to the Atlantic Ocean this way or over to the Gulf of Mexico this way. And so what Hamilton Diston did was run his steamboats up and down the Kissimmee River Valley, and I put valley in air quotes because if you're familiar with Florida, it's very flat, and it's not like a valley like you would think of anywhere else in the world. So he ran steamboats up and down the Kissimmee River Valley from Kissimmee here at the north end of Lake Topekalega down to Lake Okeechobee, and began bringing fish up from Lake Okeechobee, planted sugar cane and other products along the way, opened this area up for cattle ranching as well. And so he was instrumental in the development of Central Florida. And one of the things that he did back in that area was, like I said, he ran a steamship line. And so here's a picture of one of his 19th century steamships that he ran up and down the Kissimmee River Valley. And so the story that I like to tell is that ship's wheel came from one of the 19th century steamboats that Hamilton Diston ran from Kissimmee. Now, the reality is that's probably not the truth. The reality is it probably came from another source. And let's go back to the map and look at Kissimmee. Here is Kissimmee, and out here is Disney World. And more than likely, that ship's wheel came from a Disney employee buying it at a surplus sale at Disney World, bringing it down. It ended up at the salon, ended up with my friend Nidia calling me and me picking it up. And so that's probably where it came from. But frankly, I like the story of the 19th century steamboat a whole lot better. What about you? So thanks again for watching. This is Randy Ingersoll. As always, the next few videos I'll be doing will actually be helping you play Hive like a champion. But until next time, this is Randy Ingersoll saying thanks for watching, signing off for now.